What's going on, people? It's your boy Leon Maz from Leon Talks TV. Back at it again. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're delving into a topic that sparks a lot of debate: dating single mothers. As men, should we date single mothers? It's something to ask. Personally, I have mixed feelings about it, and I think really depends on where you are in life. So let's break it down together and explore the challenges and considerations of dating someone with kids, especially from a different age perspective. Chapter 1: the young man's perspective. Let's start with the young men. Let's say those under 25. So let's say you're 20 years old, and I would generally advise against pursuing a relationship with someone who has kids. Why, may you ask? Because you have your whole life ahead of you, and taking on that level of responsibility can be overwhelming. Personally, I've seen it happen. I've even seen it to the point of some young guys end up getting with women as many as 4 kids, which is mind-boggling, right? You actually taking on another man's responsibilities 4 times. And the funny thing is, I just feel like being that young and having your whole life ahead of you, you're putting too much responsibility on yourself that you don't need to be taking on, especially someone else's responsibilities at such a young age. I've seen it firsthand. I mean, let me tell you a story. I had a friend who at the time was 17 years of age. Now, he started dating a girl that was older than him, let's say about 2 years. So she was about 19 years old, who already had 2 kids from 2 baby fathers. So to him, it felt like a win. She was young and attractive, well, in his eyes, and had her own place. And he didn't have to worry about financial situations like taking her to restaurants and fancy places, because she was a full-time single mom and had responsibilities. So he loved the freedom of having somewhere to go and was living the dream in his eyes. Because when you really think about it, at 17 years old, you don't really have anywhere to take a woman. You can't take her back to your parents' home. So it's a struggle at that age. So when someone's got their own house in a woman, that means you're living comfortably at such a young age where you're getting regular play. And when I mean regular play, I mean regular bedroom fun, intimacy. You have your own privacy, so to speak. But here's the kicker. His family found out about the situation because he got so deep involved with her and pretty much ended up falling in love with the girl and made her his girlfriend and ended up introducing the girl to his parents. And let me tell you this, his parents were not the slightest happy about it, not whatsoever, right? And they weren't having it. They ended up sending him away to another country. Basically, they sent him from the UK all the way to New York City for a couple years, to the point he even started going to school out there. So basically, the whole aim was to let things die down. By the time he returned, the relationship had fizzled out, which was his parents' end goal. So you see, this experience shows how young men can get deep into a relationship without fully understanding the long-term implications. I honestly believe many single mothers would also advise their young sons against dating a woman with multiple kids at such a young and crucial age. Obviously, when you're older, you're more wise to make your own decisions. Chapter 2, the mature man's perspective. Now let's flip the script. If you're in your 40s and you don't have kids, for instance, you might be looking to settle down and start a family. You're making a decent salary and you come across an attractive woman, let's say the age between 28 to 33, who has 1 child. In this case, I think that's a fair deal, personally, because here's what you have to remember. As you age, the age gap gets bigger and bigger because you still want to be able to attract someone that's obviously younger and is at a good fertile age. So if you're in your 40s and meet someone that's late 20s, early 30s, and she's attractive in your eyes, then that's a good deal. Personally, it's a good deal. Because if you're in your 40s and you're getting women that's probably like 38 and upwards, then I'm not saying it's impossible, but you have to take considerations that, especially if you don't have kids, you got to take things in consideration that getting with a woman that's above 38 is a high-risk pregnancy. I'm not saying not to, but these are things to consider as well. That a woman such at that age is a high-risk pregnancy. It's a high-risk pregnancy. So it's food for thought. Because you also have to consider you're at a stage in life where you're ready for commitment. And if you find someone who aligns with your values, why not? It's practical. And you're probably not necessarily looking for a perfect scenario where everyone is childless, right? But hey, if you happen to find someone that's childless and that's in their 28s, I'm not saying it's not impossible to be in your 40s and find someone that's like 28 and doesn't have kids and fits all your the traits you want in a woman. I'm not saying it's not possible, especially in this day and age where more women are starting to have kids later on in life. But I would also say it would also be kind of silly to pass up on a woman that's about 28 that probably has just one kid and fits and gives you all the traits that you want in a woman, and that's attractive, and you're in your 40s, and she's still fertile. I would definitely say it's a bit silly to pass on a woman just because she has a kid. It's not like she has multiple kids, and I could understand. However, if you're a good looking man earning 6 figures salary, you have options. You would most likely have a lot of options. In that case, you might want to consider dating someone without kids, as you could have your pick up the bunch, so to speak. But I also understand that there are also exceptions to the rule. And if you're an older man with kids yourself, it might make more sense to you to find someone who also has children as well, allowing for a blended family situation that can be comfortable for everyone involved. Because at the end of the day, it's something that you'd have in common, and someone that would understand what it is to have kids and to be a single parent, and to understand the schedules that you may have in raising kids, right? Chapter 3. Honest reflection and realism. At the end of the day, it's crucial to be honest with yourself about where you are in life and what your options are. And not to say that single mothers are the last options, by all means, but a lot of what's being voiced out there, especially on the internet, especially by the red pill community and the manosphere, is that they would say things like, under no circumstances should men date single mothers. But I'm just here presenting a more realistic view of people's dating options. Because let's face it, I think I can speak for everyone when I say that we would all prefer to date someone without kids, whether you're a woman or a man. But here's the thing, a lot of men out there are not going to fit that idea. You see, if you live in a country where there's a lack of a nuclear family and where marriages are not being promoted for whatever reasons, maybe like people don't rely on it because people get government funded for single parent households, that could be one example, you will likely encounter many single parents, and this will be your reality. So let's face it, even if you're someone who's above 35 years old, you're not really going to be dating someone in their early 20s, to be fair, unless you're someone rich or you're extremely good looking, whatever. In certain cities, one thing I've come to realize in certain cities, in the UK, for example, and this could relate to other cities around the world. I'll give you an example. I lived in a small city called Reading before, and a lot of the young girls from that age of 18 already had kids. As young as 18, they already had kids. So that in itself is a challenge for young men looking to date as well, let alone for someone in their 30s or over their 40s. So these are things to also consider. Chapter 4, community and ethnicity consideration. So we all like to date within our own race, as we all know, right? So it's also essential to consider your community and ethnicity. Some racial groups have higher statistics regarding single parent households, and dating within your ethnicity can play a significant role in your experience. Understanding the dynamics of your specific community can help you navigate the dating landscape more effectively. So, in conclusion, dating single mothers is a complex issue influenced by many factors, including age, personal circumstances, and community. It's important to approach this topic with an open mind and a realistic perspective. Whether you're a young man just starting out or an older man looking for a partner, assessing your options honestly will guide you to make the best choice for your life and relationship. Thank you for tuning in today. If you found this discussion helpful or have experiences to share, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. How do you feel about dating single mothers? I would love to hear from you. Until next time, take care and keep seeking meaningful connections. Yours truly, Leon Maz.